Hey guys, so welcome back to part 2. If you were here last week, then you know that I have already analyzed part 1 article for you, and now we're moving into part 2. You can just download the PDF for this language analysis article just down below in the description box, but let's just get started. Okay, so I am a doctor with over 35 years experience. So automatically this doctor is establishing his credentials. So with credentials, it usually means that as an audience, we are impressed and we are respectful of this person and trust their opinion, especially if it's 35 years. I know what it is to be called to a local school in an emergency and find a child suffering from asthma, unable to tell me what medication has previously been prescribed. I know what it is to see older patients day after day who experience weariness and confusion in trying to remember all the medication they are taking. So when he says, I know what it is, these are first-hand experiences. It shows again and compounds on the idea that this guy is indeed experienced in the field, and we should trust anyone. I guess we should kind of trust the doctor, right? Because he's exposed to this type of stuff every single day. It also shows that he is empathetic, which is a great quality to see in a doctor because he seems to suffer as well when his patients are suffering. So with that in mind, as an audience, we are more inclined to like him and to value his opinion because he has directly been impacted as a result. When he talks about a child with asthma, it's a very interesting scenario to choose. You know, he could have talked about anyone. He decides to talk about a child. So potentially what this could do is appeal to a particular audience. For example, it could be parents, could be other people suffering asthma, for example. But let's say with parents, generally I say we, like I'm a parent, I'm not a parent, but we're protective towards young people, and you want to remove them from needless suffering as a result. Again, those who experience weariness and confusion, potentially that could appeal to the elderly. So if you're somebody who's older and you're starting to experience the fact that you're getting a little bit confused or like you're forgetting things, then this might really appeal to you and speak to you because it could be the answer that you're looking for. I recently heard about the pain and distress of a patient who suffered an epileptic fit while far from home. Unfortunately, everyone around him, unaware that he had mild fits, assumed he was drunk and ignored him. So this part here, like recalling a story, it shows the unfairness of the situation, that this person who was having an epileptic fit would have a much more positive outcome should he have had an MI card. And we feel sorry for him because nobody should have to experience their illness and be alienated or judged on by the community or by the public. So as a result, we may be encouraged to go out there and get our own MI card or recommend our friends or family who we know who may be suffering from illnesses to get an MI card. We can all sympathize with this lad, so that itself is quite easy. What is it, guys? Inclusive language. So if you don't know already, inclusive language engages the audience because it encourages them to feel included and responsible in whatever the author is talking about. So we feel like there's something that we can do in this case. This lad, that's quite colloquial. Why do you think he does that? So maybe it shows that this doctor isn't just, you know, a doctor who's distant and unfeeling, but he sees us patients as people and as friends, people that he cares about. And so again, we're more inclined to listen to this doctor because we see him in a positive light. He can no longer feel confident when he goes out. So this is, again, like so unfair. Nobody should go out and feel like they can't be confident. Like, if this is something that's taken away from the person, but a Medi-Info card could help relieve them of that, then maybe they should do it. And maybe we should start advocating for MI cards. We can all sympathize. Do you guys know what that is? Generalization. Generalization is when it's kind of like indicated that everyone agrees. Like we can all sympathize, because if you don't seem like you sympathize, well then you're kind of that a-hole in the corner that's being rude and not caring while everyone else is. So of course you're kind of more inclined to want to agree and sympathize and therefore support the MI card. As a doctor, so yet again, that kind of goes back to like the credentials. I know that in emergency, he would have been given vital help. He required immediately. So this sense of instantaneous, there's no waiting involved. Everything happens straight away. So we can trust MediInfo. It's going to do its job at making sure that people are well looked after. All Australians, same thing, generalization. Young or old, sick or well, bush or city, close. So this kind of starts to appeal like to lots of different people. Lives that are free from anxiety, so appeals to this sense of freedom or this idea that this person couldn't feel confident anymore. We don't want them to go out there and feel anxious either, right? You can see from all the different lines and where they're going that I try to make connections to other parts of the article as I go through the piece, because I think it's really important to be able to look at things on a more holistic scale than rather just like one thing on a micro level. This means that you're able to better understand the contention as well as the arguments that the author uses to build up that contention. So let's finish this one off. The Medicard doesn't waste people's time, so people who are very conscious of their time and want to be productive, it could appeal to them. Safe and secure, excellent, so we know that. We spoke about this last time with the MI card, giving you security and comfort. But also you could also say that there's alliteration here. It's just as a side note though, I would much rather you guys talk about like security and safety and how that like appeals to people. My work as a doctor would improve. I mean, if you really wanted to, you could even like put that together with like as a doctor, and then it goes back to credentials. If I had more time to talk to my patients, they would be improved. Cool. To me, your MediInfo card means peace of mind for everyone. Okay, so what do you guys think of that? I'm not going to analyze it. I'm going to ask you guys to analyze it and put it down in the comment section below for me. So with this one, I analyzed a lot, but I'm sure there's still heaps more that I haven't quite looked at. And so I want you guys to put down in the comments below, what are the different types of analyses that you've pulled from this article? Let's share around and help each other out. The more we can collaborate and work together, the more we can lift each other up. So if you needed more help with analyzing argument, you guys can definitely check out my study guide where I have an entire section which covers everything from how to analyze, language technique lists, structure, high response essays, low response essays, so you can see the difference, and everything is annotated for you in those essays so that you understand why they actually did well or not so well. So that's it from me. I will see you guys next Friday and chat to you then. Bye.